the best place to be at 97.3 FM. Listening with your girl to show at WUVI, the voice of the universe.
So we're live on Facebook. And then the theme music starts. Afternoon, everybody. As usual, we're multitasking.
Good afternoon.
So that is.
How long to play music?
Well, we can't have that on the music.
Sure.
And it was the other one. That's okay. We'll find it another day.
That's not.
No. So you can go ahead and cut that. Facebook will do for playing Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. This is What's Going On at UVICES. And UVICES is the University of the Virgin Islands Cooperative Extension Service Office. And I'm DaraMonifah Cooper over here on the St. Thomas campus. But we have more than one campus, and we have office over on the Albert A. Sheen campus of St. Croix as well. So I basically come weekly here at WUVI Radio, which is our student radio station at the University of the Virgin Islands, and share information about lots of things that we do at the Cooperative Extension Service Office, including agriculture and natural resources, family consumer science, 4-H youth development, and the area that I'm under as a communication specialist, communication, technology, and distance learning. So this is our weekly radio program, like I said, where we share information, or soon to be lively interviews, about services with our community partners, sometimes our stakeholders, other staff, as they share experiences and examples of how we all work together in our little mantra, responding to the needs of the community. And for those of you listening on 97.3 FM, thank you, and drive safely. And those of you watching on Facebook, we appreciate it. Please do go ahead and share the live, because this is all information that's beneficial to the community in one way or the other. And I have a guest in studio today, and she's going to introduce herself in a moment. And we are expecting a call as well, so we're going to roll this out best we can. There's always a lot of information to share from the Cooperative Extension Services, but what we're going to intend to get through today is a recap of some of our summer youth programs and things, the current offerings that we're doing. We'll speak with our guest. I don't know who's going to pop in first. Some upcoming activities and events, and then we'll go from there. But let her introduce herself for a moment, and then we'll get right back into a recap of some of the things that have happened. Good afternoon.
Well, good afternoon, Ms. Cooper, and good afternoon to the UVI and the Greater Virgin Islands community. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. My name is Wendy Coram, Vialet. I am a naturopathic physician, but I am also here at the university the director for the Center for the Study of Spirituality and Professionalism. For those of you who don't know what the center is, it is an initiative of the Office of the President, and it was established to help promote the institutional management values and to really help increase awareness of the role that spirituality plays in professionalism and the well-being of and success of our students, staff, and faculty. And our motto for CSAP is making the connection.
And right there, that's where we come in, because CSAP is always making the connection, whether it's to different spiritual organizations or agencies or individuals. And every so often, Extension Service gets an opportunity to work with CSAP and bring these wonderful things to the community that we're going to let her speak a little bit more into in a little bit. So, could you first give them the website and contact information, and then we'll come back to that again.
If you'd like to visit our website, you can go to ces.uvi.edu. CSAP is csap.uvi.edu. And for more information, if you need to get in touch with me, I can be reached at area code 340-693-1003, or you can email me at wendy.coram, C-O-R-A-M as in Mary, @uvi.edu.
Excellent. So thank you for that. So that's who we have in studio with us, and we're expecting a call from a representative who is with the American Red Cross, because one of the topics for today is a micro grant that we have the copies of over in our office, as well as does the Department of Agriculture locally and some others. So we want to be able to get out a little bit more information about what's happening there. So let's get to it. So first off, we were just going to kind of go from back, because this is the second radio program for the fall, for the semester. And last week I told you that I would come back and share a little bit more information with some of the summer programs that we have. So we have summer programs having to do with the various areas of our office: agriculture, family and consumer science, as well as a little bit of communications and technology and distance learning in there as well. So in terms of agriculture, this is our, 2018 was our third year as part of the AgDiscovery program. And that's a summer youth camp that took place over on the Albert A. Sheen campus of the University of the Virgin Islands. And AgDiscovery in general is an outreach program that helps middle through high school age students explore careers in animal science, veterinary medicine, agribusiness, plant pathology, aquaculture, a whole lot more. Agriculture and the jobs that are related to agriculture could range to pretty much anything. So there are students there who wanted to become doctors, students who wanted to become veterinarians, students who wanted to be in the lab and dealing with blood work and specimens of different types, all sorts of things. But AgDiscovery was a 2-week program where students from all over the United States came and had a college stay opportunity for 2 weeks in the dorms. And then we took them around the island of St. Croix. They learned some of the culture. They went to some of the farmers' farms, the farmers' markets, and they actually got into the soil and did the work. So they weren't just standing up and listening to information. And it's led by the different staff in the Cooperative Extension Service Office and the Agricultural Experiment Station, which are pretty much siblings here at the university under the Research and Public Service area. In 2017, for the first time out of over 20 other universities, we at UVI were featured on the booklet cover for AgDiscovery that goes out to all the other universities in advertising the program, because there are about 20 or so other universities that do AgDiscovery from Hawaii to the various states. We're the only one obviously in the Caribbean. And the students this year was very interesting because they came and many of them were just like, well, we wanted to just get to a Caribbean island. So they were realistic, and it became very entertaining while at the same time educational for us to continue with what we were doing. So the person that I believe is calling in is our other guest from the American Red Cross. So I'm going to go ahead and say good afternoon to him, and let's find out a little bit more about this micro grant.
Okay.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. This is Bill Martin, and I'm with the American Red Cross, and I'm pleased to be on your program today to talk about the American Red Cross Micro Grant Program for small farmers in the VI. We were able to secure from donations that were given to the Red Cross over $600,000 that will be used for these micro grants of up to $2,000 per small farmer in the VI.
Nice. Thank you in advance for that. So I know we have the application sent to us a couple weeks ago, and we've had some farmers come in. What can you tell us in terms of how they could use these funds?
Okay, the funds are to meet the gap that we learned from your farm community that was not covered by FEMA or SBA.
Okay.
These are for outbuildings or external structures. It would be like farm stands or roadside market stands, sheds, storage building, chicken coops, hoop houses, greenhouses, shade houses, livestock pens, But then we also are covering fixtures, which would be like water storage tanks,
Okay.
Water pressure tanks, water pumps, electrical weatherheads, solar panels, and livestock water troughs. Beehives are
Wow.
examples of that.
Wow. Okay, and then the simple question. Sometimes people are afraid of even trying to apply for these grants. How easy is it for them to get access to applying and actually getting through?
Okay. We're trying to make it as simple as possible.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of assistance in creating the application with the university's Cooperative Extension Service and Agricultural Experimental Station and the VI Department of Agriculture and the U.S. Department of Agriculture Farm Services.
Okay.
So all they need is simple, the name and your address, your current mailing address. Then we need the location of where the farm is, the size, and what type of farm it is, whether it's cropland or pasture land, poultry or other. And then if you're not the owner, then we need to know the landowner, who the landowner is. And the application, on the back side of the form, page 2 of the application, it's on page 2 of the application, is just describe your loss and give us as much detail as possible. Now, this grant process is for a max of $2,000, but we are asking the farmers if they've lost more than that under these categories such as the sheds or building. If it was $10,000, please put down the total loss so we know what is remaining on there. But we will bring and pay up to issue grants up to $2,000.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
Now, the application, the requirements are that you be one of the 302 licensed farmers in the VI by the VI Department of Agriculture, and just some proof of either you own the land or you're leasing it or you have a tenancy agreement, and then a copy of your most recent IRS 1040 with the Schedule F. And Schedule F is just that you have farm income, so we know that you're really a farmer.
Right.
And then the cost estimates of the repairs or replacement. If you've already replaced it or repaired it, then just the actual receipts. And then any documentation you have, such as photographs before and after of the damage, so we know that, get a little bit better idea of what the damage is. The deadline for the applications is the 12th, Friday, the 12th of October at 4 p.m. And those applications can be dropped off or mailed to the Red Cross office on St. Thomas, which is in the Niski Center, or on St. Croix, across from Sunny Isle, or we also they can be emailed in to us.
Okay.
So you can send in the application, but if you do the email, you need to also send in the scanned copies of the documentation that's requested.
Gotcha. And what would be that email address that they could send it to?
It would be Diamond, DIAMOND, dot Ritter, RITTER, at Red Cross, one word, .org.
Diamond Ritter at redcross.org. So applications for this microgrant can be emailed to diamond.ritter@redcross.org. For those of you watching on Facebook Live, I'm typing that email address in to the comments so you can have it there. And for those of you listening, whether it's on your car radios or online, we'll have all that information, and I'll go over some of it again, the contact information for our office at the Cooperative Extension Service. But I want to thank you, Bill, for calling in. Is there anything else we left out?
A couple comments that have come in from the different agricultural officials. And one was that On the application form, it says, please submit the IRS Form 4562. That's a depreciation schedule, but not, I found out in the VI, not many of the farmers use it, so that's optional. That is not required.
Okay.
The other question that had come up was that a farmer said, I don't have any pictures from before the hurricane. I didn't take them. I never knew I would need them. And we're saying the pictures are just one way of documenting the loss, but you can submit the receipts or the cost estimates for the material. It's not a requirement, but it just makes it a little bit easier for the reviewers.
Gotcha. Understood. Good information to know. Thank you so much. And we'll be sure to continue getting that information out. Quick question.
Appreciate it. I wish you and all of the farmers a wonderful day. Thank you so much for your help.
And Bill, before you go, if you could just state your name and your position with the American Red Cross again for us.
Okay. My name is Bill Martin, and I'm the Assistant Director for External Relations. My home is in Charleston, South Carolina.
Okay.
I've been here since October 11th, 2017. So I learned to really enjoy the islands.
Gotcha. Perfect. Thank you so much, Bill, for calling in, and we look forward to continuing to work together with the American Red Cross.
Thank you.
All right, take care. So there you go. So we have the applications in our office. You can contact us. 693-1080 is the front desk, area code 340. Ms. Penn or any of the other staff will be happy to get you a copy of it either via email, or we have the printed copies in our office as well. And again, we were speaking with Bill Martin, who is the Assistant Director with the American Red Cross External Relations. I don't know, there's always so much, so much. And I was speaking about what we were doing in the summer regarding agriculture, because we want to bring up the younger people now to help. There's too wide of a gap between the farmers of today, locally, and who's coming next. We need to cultivate who's coming next. And I know it's like this with every area.
So is there an opportunity for students to work with farmers during the summer through the AgDiscovery program?
Yeah, definitely. And this summer in particular, we actually had a student who was in the AgDiscovery program last year from St. Thomas go and work for a week on Ridge to Reef Farm.
Nice.
Doing some research and getting in the soil with them and helping them out. And we're talking about St. Croix campus, but there are opportunities as well for the St. Thomas campus. We usually have the Ag and Enrichment program on St. Thomas. This year we did not, just because of, challenges due to the hurricanes and not being able to get everything together in time to make sure that we could do the program the way we would want it to come off. But in that program, farmers also work with young people for about 3 weeks. Sometimes we do 4. And the young people end up getting stipends at the end of the year from the Department of Labor. So that's a collaboration. Again, more collaborations. That's with the Department of Labor, the Department of Human Services Vocational Rehabilitation Center, because in addition to learning agriculture and other related areas, we also utilize that summer program, the one here on St. Thomas, Ag Enrichment, for merging students who don't have disabilities with students who do, so that they could learn how to work together and treat each other the same, just in layman's terms. It's a really interesting way that it happens over the few weeks. A little strange and awkward in the first couple days, but by the end of the first week, you'll never know the difference between the two.
Nice.
And that's the intention, with agriculture and other areas as the impetus for giving them something to focus on.
And in the future, will there be opportunities for students to continue doing agricultural work within the school system?
Definitely. So with Extension Service, we also work with the Future Farmers of America, which is a club that's in some of the high schools. And Albie and Chico George, who also deals with our demonstration garden, which is around our office. There are some students he's working with right now, even still through the summer onto the fall. They're still being paid by the Department of Labor as a stipend throughout the year. We're hoping that it continues and never ends at this point. It's the first year we've been able to do it in this way. But he goes into the schools and also assists with the school gardens. So school gardens, home gardens, community gardens. there's a combination of ways that Extension Service, with our limited staff, can help the community to learn more about gardening or farming, depending on what level of it that they want to do. But that's just one area of what we do in terms of agriculture and natural resources. And we'll have somebody else in here another day to speak more about the natural resources side of Extension. But if we move on to family and consumer science, we also had summer programs in sewing and nutrition under Dr. Johnson. And currently there's a sewing, well, that was for young people, summer program, but throughout the year there's a sewing and Batik class for really anybody. It doesn't really matter the age, but usually the young people are back in school, so it's not them. We've had college students, we've had exchange students join, whether it's a retiree or someone that has time for whatever reason, learning to sew and learning to do batik work, and then turn it into an entrepreneurial initiative for themselves and actually going to whether it's Crown Bay or one of the fairs or Carnival and selling what they make.
Well, I must say that I had, it was a privilege to have this opportunity to actually see batik art at the festival that we had on September 23rd, the Interfaith Wellness Festival. One of the CES staff was grateful enough to bring his art and share with the attendees at the festival, and it was just amazing what you can do with batik.
Definitely.
The art is just absolutely amazing, and you could do anything from spiritual art to abstract art to, you know, nature to anything that really resonates with you. It's truly an art.
Most definitely. And I mean, there's, like you said, there's a lot that you can do with it. Some people who attend our workshops and classes just do so for therapy. Not to do anything else with what they create, but just for the act of doing it and to enjoy it in that way. And other people, they're using it for their personal use at home or at work. And I'm just going to run through the list of upcoming activities and events that we have coming up where some of these things are going to tie in before we wrap it up with exactly why you're here to talk about the Interfaith Wellness Festivals that have happened the past 2 weekends. As you mentioned, you had, in addition to us assisting with certain areas of the organizing and managing on the days themselves, another one of us in sharing the batik. So everything is connected.
Indeed.
But some of the upcoming activities and events that are happening with Extension Service: pesticide trainings and certifications. We also work together very closely. We're like the educational branch of the Department of Agriculture, so with the Department of Ag. And there's a fertilizer use and management workshop coming up on October 11th. And that'll be from 9 to 12 in the UVI cell office. The pesticide training and certifications will also be, well, once she comes over to St. Thomas, and we're talking about Dr. Amy Dreves, or the bug lady, as she likes to call herself. She also either utilizes Extension Service or the UVI cell office. And so that's pesticide training certifications, fertilizer use and management workshop, and that's through the Department of Agriculture, and Mr. James from the Department of Agriculture is who's going to be conducting that at UVI cell. World Food Day is coming up.
That's
right. That's also a big event that happens at Extension every October. So this year, it's usually October 16th is actually World Food Day, so it falls around that date. This year, it's October 14th. So you're going to find out more information about that. And the St. Thomas St. John Agriculture and Food Fair is coming up November 17th and 18th. So of course you'll hear more about these next week and in the days to come and in the weeks to come. But just to throw that out there, and if you want to see more information about these, you can always go up to our website, ces.uvi.edu, as well as our blog. That's uvices.blogspot.com. And I'm going to be typing all of those in for those of you on Facebook. And for those of you listening, if you go to the website, like I said, you'll just find everything there, ces.uvi.edu. Or if you're just driving or moving around and you can't remember that, just remember UVICES, and that stands for UVI Cooperative Extension Service. If you type in UVICES online, you're bound to pull up one of our online platforms. So now let's get into why we brought you here today, other than that everything is interconnected.
Well, I would like to say one thing before we
Sure.
get into that. With the with regards to the AgDiscovery program,
Mm-hmm.
I hope at some point in time that we can incorporate medicinal plants of the U.S. Virgin Islands
Mm-hmm.
and begin to introduce our students to the benefits of these plant medicines.
Yes.
So I know it's one thing that we have been working on and working on improving some of the research and information that we have regarding some of the plants we use here, but
Right.
I think it would be a good way of introducing it to them so we keep the culture and the history alive as time goes on.
Sounds like another excellent collaboration. So we're definitely going to have to meet on that to just fine tune that so that maybe on
Certainly.
both campuses,
Yes,
the programs on both campuses can benefit from that and the students can then learn more.
that's my naturopathic hat.
Oh,
speaking.
yes. Thank you. Thank you. Again, it's all interconnected. So
It certainly is.
now let's go ahead and speak about these past 2 weekends. It's about a very, very busy past month.
Yes, the month of September was very, very busy. I celebrated my birthday, which was always the highlight of September for me.
Mhm.
But we also had the Interfaith Wellness Festival on the island of St. Thomas
Mhm.
on the 23rd, which was a Sunday from 12 to 5 p.m. And then on September 30th
Mhm.
on the Albert Asian campus. This event, of course, was designed to stimulate common action among the various faith traditions in hopes of addressing the needs of our community and also just to initiate cooperative activities between the faith-based organizations and provide a space for unity among us all and to give us an opportunity to explore shared values.
Mhm.
And during the festival, of course, we had a stage program consisting of wellness practitioners along with religious leaders. So on the St. Thomas campus, we had Rashad Abdul Rahman, who presented on Muslim Judeo-Christian relations, 600 CE to present. We also had Pastor Guilford Monrose, who spoke on preventing youth violence through faith-based partnerships, and Pastor Jerry Lando Blancaduck, who spoke on the healing power of prayer. And in between that, we incorporated some of the wellness activities. So Raymond Suleiman Francis did a deep breathing exercise with the audience that was there, and the sensei, what was his name? Alan Buckingham.
Yes.
That did a Tai Chi demonstration, which was good. We also had Anthony, the spinologist. He was there and he did a brief presentation on the importance of being assessed as far as your alignment and making sure that that's in line. And we had several other practitioners there. We had Alan Haynes, who also did a presentation. And many of you know him to be, I guess, the person who rubs
Yes.
and adjusts and does all sorts of stuff to your body in a good way.
Yes. People line up literally around his house for that.
I know, I know. But I really wanted to bring local people within the community together along with the faith organizations to provide healing, because spiritual healing does affect our physical well-being and vice versa. So I think it was important to have a combination of both. We also had attorney Laura Nagy, who also did a meditation session, and that was followed by the Islamic call to prayer by Imam Abu Bakr Muhammad. and we had a dance performance by the Muslim Student Association. It was actually a video
Yeah.
Demonstrating a particular dance that they do in their culture,
Right.
and it was just absolutely amazing.
Mhm.
I don't know if you got up and tried, but
Oh no,
I know I
watched
wasn't
the
there.
others.
You watched the others
Who
who
got
did go
up?
up.
Vita got up. There's a
Vita,
few people from the
yes,
audience that got up. There was
yes.
about 5 or 6 of them that were brave
Yeah,
enough to
brave
try
enough to try the
get
dance.
those steps in.
It was really a wonderful occasion. We had a performance by the praise and worship team from the Shiloh Adventist Church, and they
Yes.
closed out the session. I think what was really special was when the religious leaders stood together
and
in
did that.
front,
Mhm.
and we asked that they pray for unity, peace, and our recovery,
Yes.
and that they did.
Mhm.
And speaking of recovery, there was a documentary that we showed, the trailer
The
to
trailer,
a
right.
documentary that's going to be coming out soon. And the documentary's by Daryl Potter and Francis Daniel, called Project Recovery, that addresses the issue of crime in our territory. And it's not just talking about the crime, but also giving us an opportunity to provide solutions to our own issues,
Right.
in hope that, those powers that be will take heed and listen to what the public is saying.
Mhm.
So that was the St. Thomas stage program, and we also want to give thanks to our sponsors and Tony T. He was our MC DJ. He did a wonderful job, and I'm grateful to him. We also there were so many moving components,
Mhm.
but we also had Julie Armbruster. She did
yes, with the
some
youth.
cooperative games with the children that were there, which was nice, and wellness art. And we also had Irene Bryce,
Mhm.
lost her name for a moment,
Mhm.
but she did a presentation on contemplative art meditation.
Mhm.
And from UVI, we also had Maricel Flores
Yes.
Diaz, who did techniques to heal what is holding you back. So there were a lot of moving parts, but my only hope is that as the years go on,
Mhm.
more and more people will find this event to be valuable
Yeah.
and meaningful to them, and will come out and participate.
Mhm.
On the St. Croix campus, Albert Einstein campus, we had a couple of presenters, Imam Abu Abdullah, who to me did more of an introduction of Islam to the attendees that were there,
Mm.
and really, really showed how, the various values that we do share and that we have in common,
Mhm.
similar to like the Golden Rule, and really just demonstrating the importance of just living in peace regardless of our religious orientation.
Yes.
So if your neighbor is in need of assistance, whether it's money, clothes, food, whatever,
Mhm.
you should help your neighbor. You know what I mean?
It sounds
So-
so simple and so logical.
It does sound simple and logical, and it
Mhm.
is easy to do if we
Mhm.
just make up our mind to do it.
Yeah.
Everything doesn't have to be fearful and frightening,
Mhm.
but there are elements within our own very being that allows us to do that willingly and freely.
Yeah.
And we just need to tap into that energy more often than not.
Yep.
We also had a presentation by Pastor Clive Williams on celebrating peace and unity amongst our fellow men. So I think overall the festival was great. We had an art exhibit as well, and we did do a silent auction on the island of St. Croix. And like I said, the art exhibit was absolutely amazing. We not only had batik art that you can put on the wall, but
Right.
we also had pillows and
Mhm.
shawls and scarves, and just various designs.
Yeah.
It was just amazing.
Yeah. It's beautiful all the way around, and I think when I went around afterwards and was asking everyone their take
Mhm.
on it, they just enjoyed the environment. They enjoyed being able to easily learn so much from so many different types of people who practice endowment, so many different types of ways, but they didn't feel as disconnected anymore.
Right, yes. And
Just from that experience.
Yeah. And the good thing was that we did have a variety of religious organizations there, and people were saying, wow, this is the first time I am learning about Baha'is, for example.
Yeah.
There were some people there that didn't really know, on both islands actually, and they came out in numbers on both islands, and I was grateful for them being there. The Lutheran Church of the Reformation came out on St. Thomas. Island Fellowship Church was there, and they were also one of our sponsors, and they share space here at the rec center on Sunday mornings at 10:30 for those who might be interested in, joining
Right on
them
campus.
one Sunday. So they do have a presence on campus, and we're grateful to the United Way for their financial support and donations, along with UVI Wellness and, of course, CES. CES, and also DaraMonifah.com. Do you know who she is?
Yeah, a little bit.
She's an amazing person. She really did a lot with regards to social media and flyers, and I'm just grateful to you, Ms. Cooper, for all the work that you did. Thank you so much. WGOD was also a proud sponsor of this event. Supreme Media and Print, Global Wholesale, Institutional Advancement, and donations from Marlene Thomas, Galen Varlock, and Altagracia Bennett, and Antonia Terrell. The food was amazing. The Virgin Islands Clergy Peace Coalition and the Interfaith Council of the Caribbean also represented. So we are grateful to all our sponsors and donors that supported this event. And on St. Croix, we also had the United Way and the Baha'is. We also had Island Therapy Solutions, and this is an organization that provides free confidential counseling sessions for your mental health and wellness.
Nice.
Because, a lot of people are still in recovery after the storm, and so they provided information on stress management. They have, beginning October 1st until July 31st of next year, they're going to be offering free confidential counseling sessions to the community on St. Croix. And so if you are interested in having a session, you can call 340-719-7007 or email frontdesk@islandtherapysolutions.com.
Okay, and I'm going to get that information from you before we wrap up today, so that when I'm done I can put all of that in the chat, as well as some of the blog, because everything that we're doing for today's radio program is already out on our blog, and again you can access that by just going to our website, which is the easier one to remember, ces.uvi.edu, or if you're following us on Facebook, at UVICES, facebook.com/CESUVI, you'll find us wherever you throw those two acronyms together. But I wanted you to share contact information again for the center, and just remind people a little bit about what they can expect, because that was just one out of many things that the
One
center
out of
does.
many things that we do. Before I do that, I want to, of course, say a special thanks to all the committee members.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we had some persons here at the university that participated, specifically Leslyn Tung, Jessica Taylor, Una Dyer, the St. Kitts Nevis Student Association, the Muslim Student Association, Liza Margolis, Lorna Chesterfield, Shelley Anslin, Matthias Clavier, Narita Washington, Valina Richards, Vida, and Imam Abubakar Muhammad. So I just want to say thank you to them as well for assisting us in putting this event together. Again, I am the director for CSAP, Center for the Study of Spirituality and Professionalism. I can be reached at area code 340-693-1003, or you can email me at wendy.coram, CORAM, @uvi.edu. Upcoming, the center, the festival is just one of many things that we do offer. But as part of this center, we also have the Anti-Violence and Peace Initiative, and also PULSE, which is the conflict management mediation arm of the university.
Mhm.
In November, the dates are not finalized yet. I believe it's the first week in November. We're going to have a 2-day course in certification course
Okay.
in conflict management that we're going to offer on the island of St. Thomas and St. Croix
Mhm.
on both campuses. We recently signed created standard operating procedures with a company in Ghana, Africa called Gami Gami. So a lot of the programs that we offer here will be offered also in Ghana through that institute.
Excellent.
There are other programs that we're promoting, like the CPM program and others that we're going to share. We have mediation coming up in February. So it's a 5-day mediation course that once you're finished, you can engage in mediation. And we're also going to have, we also focus on professional development as well. So we're going to have some ethics workshops coming up in
Excellent.
April of
Yes.
next year, and many other things.
Yes.
So it's just it's in the works. We're looking at also developing, as part of our Interfaith lecture series, a course on Introduction to the Hebrew Bible with Rabbi Michael Feshbach.
Okay.
So
that'll just be like a not,
be a
not a university
6-week
course,
course.
but something that people can take.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
We would like for it to become a university
Mm.
course eventually,
Okay.
because of the level of material and education that you're going to receive.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So, but we want to certainly get students engaged in taking that course as
Mhm.
well. So we have that coming up, and Imam Abu Bakr Muhammad has agreed to also teach a course on an introduction to Islam.
Nice.
You know, so we begin to build and expand our minds about what's around us.
Mhm.
And I spoke with Pastor Winnell Roberts, who's interested in doing a series on comparative religion.
Okay.
So these are some of the courses that are forthcoming
Excellent.
with CSAP.
Excellent. There's a lot going on with our Center for the
Study of spirituality.
Spirituality and Professionalism.
Yes.
That's what CSAP stands for, and that's just one of the little hats.
That's just
That's a very big hat.
one of the little hats. And one of the things that I did not mention that we have coming up is we have partnered with the United Way on certain initiatives,
Okay.
and later on this month, on the 24th, there will be a distribution that we're going to be doing.
Okay.
I will provide more information via email and social media to the public.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Wow. Well, if you didn't know, we were talking about let me see one of those flyers and booklets for those of you on Facebook who may have noticed this floating around in the past couple months, but the Interfaith Wellness Festival, and it was something celebrating peace, joy, unity, and diversity, which is exactly what took place both campuses the past 2 weekends, September 23rd and September 30th. Lots to learn, lots was shared, lot was experienced by people in the community, and I know they're looking forward to it. Is that going to be an annual or biannual, or what do you think, so that people can know when is the next one that they might be able to attend?
Well, we hope for it to be an annual event. The attendees are already talking about participating again next year
Okay.
because it was really, really a good event. And it's something that more people should seriously consider supporting and attending.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to continue doing this event annually and, watch it grow.
Yeah.
And get bigger.
Definitely. So again, Dr. Wendy Coram Vialet from our UVI family in one of her hats for CSAP. And CSAP is just the acronym that we use, CSAP, for the Center for the Study of Spirituality and Professionalism here at the University of the Virgin Islands. You don't have a lot of universities with a center like that.
No.
So that's just
Not at
one
all.
of the special things here at UVI. One of the many special things. And at Cooperative Extension Service, we work together with Dr. Coram in a plethora of ways. On a
Yes,
different
it's true.
levels, different subject matter. We definitely want to get back into that conversation about CAM.
Yes.
And that we'll just have to talk about off air and just figure out how we can bring that back, because we're talking about medicinal plants, talking about teaching the young people like who are in our summer programs for agriculture about these things, and even students who are in schools all throughout the year. There are ways that we can integrate all of this to make it make sense and give them more awareness.
Certainly.
You know,
I look forward to
I
that.
want to say CAM, just so that I'm not spitting out acronyms without explaining them. Center for Complementary and Alternative Medicine.
That's correct.
Which also was housed, physically anyway, over in our herbarium in the Cooperative Extension Service office through a collaboration of different professors and researchers and students here at the University of the Virgin Islands. So let's see what else can happen and where else we can find ways to continue extending knowledge and changing lives, which is, again, another one of Extension's little catchphrases. But let me just recap a little bit. So we spoke about summer youth programs, including our AgDiscovery program, which takes place on St. Croix, our Ag Enrichment program, which we didn't have last year, but usually takes place on St. Thomas, and those are two youth-based agriculture programs that we run on both campuses. Dr. Johnson, for our Family and Consumer Science area, teaches the sewing and nutrition camps to young people in the summer. And I also do, I didn't speak yet about my computer technology courses because I'm in the planning for starting those up again. We're going to start with mobile device workshops.
Nice. Because
that is, you just got a comment from Dr. Ford about being her favorite naturopath. So,
thank you, Dr. Ford.
And she's definitely one of the school principals who is open to collaborating with us on any and every occasion to bring all of these wonderful things to her students. So we already know if it's something good for the students, Dr. Ford is on it.
Certainly.
We know that. But going through the rest of it, currently mobile device workshops are the thing that people are asking about a lot. These little things, these phones, these tablets, people want to learn how to use them, and I went ahead and did the research to figure out how to use all of them. And they keep changing, but you just have to keep.
They do. You gotta keep like every 6 months.
Yeah. So I went into AT&T, to Sprint, to Via, and just the feedback is the same at all of them. Our job is to sell these.
Right.
We give a little bit of training, but we can't spend all the time training because our job isn't training. Our job is selling. So that is what that is. Who's training?
Well, maybe we can bring them to the university and have them do a training.
But that's a good point. We should probably look into that. But in the meantime, we just created the course and are doing the training in collaboration with them. We put the flyers at their different offices, and they share them with their clients. Not that there aren't 800 numbers that the clients can take advantage of to get assistance, but the reality is for many of the people in the community, they're not comfortable enough with the device in the first place to be taking direction over the phone. So at least if they take a basic workshop in figuring out how to get around the phone and knowing that if they push certain buttons and swipe certain things, it's not going to blow anything up.
Right.
Then they can get more comfortable. They learn the terminology and not just pushing buttons and pointing at things. And so if they're on a phone call, it'll be easier for them to now follow instructions. So
exactly.
At the end of the day, that's what we're doing.
At the same time, when it comes to technology, some people really need that visual and the practical hands-on experience. So yeah, it's good to have someone in person to actually do the presentation.
So those are coming up again. They came they were in high demand after the storms because, again, we didn't have the computers working up. Some of us didn't have electricity, didn't have access to the internet, even if we had electricity and a computer, but we all had phones.
We certainly did, yes.
Phones and tablets.
Whether or not it was working,
whether
we all
or
had
not.
phones.
So we're going to start off with that, and then we'll go into some of the other trainings that we offer every year: basic computer, intermediate computer, internet, social media, some other basic things like the Microsoft Office suite, including Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel. And when you talk about using those and then going to the internet and making sure you know how to get around easily, people Google all day. but there are little tips and tricks that you could learn to Google easier.
Right.
And you don't only have to use Google. There's a list of search engines that can be used. So we share all of that in some of our workshops and more. And to register for any of those, you can call 693-1081. 693-1081. Area code is 340 here in the Virgin Islands. And just leave your contact information. If you're calling about the mobile device workshops, let me know what type of phone you have. If you know, if you don't, I'll call you back and we'll figure it out, because not a lot of people know exactly what type of phone they have.
I think I would like to sign my husband up.
Okay. Okay. You have him call me. We'll work that
I
out.
most certainly will do that.
But it happens all over the place, and some of us know how to use the basics, but there's some other things that we might want to be able to use, and getting on the internet, maybe checking your bank account, doing all sorts of stuff, paying your WAPA bill so you don't have to physically go do it, or drop a check off someplace. All of these different types of things, we go in the community to the different agencies, meet with them, research how to get things done, and then we create the courses and workshops and trainings. That's what Extension does.
Nice.
Research, AES. AES is a research branch, but some of us have to do both, and with the merger that's about to happen with AES and CES, we're going to have to do a little bit more of both. So
Yes.
with me being the only one on the St. Thomas, St. John side in technology, I usually have to do the research and then create the courses from it.
Right.
Over on St. Croix, that would be Matthias Clavier. So you get that type of thing from both islands. And so we spoke about the current workshops. Sowing is happening on Wednesday mornings. Batik is happening Monday and Tuesdays until 1. I think it's 9 to 1 or 10 to 1. And we use the rec center, the clubhouse over on the golf course for that. So Dr. Johnson is over there with them doing that every week until December something, and then they'll start again in January. And at some point they're going to come on air and tell us where they're going to be taking their things, whether it's Crown Bay or the Ag Fair or whatever other things, maybe something at VICA, because VICA is one of their sponsors, Council of the Arts, and we'll get more information about that. We had a call from Mr. Bill, he likes to be called Bill, Martin, who is with the American Red Cross, External Relations, about the micro grant that's available for farmers. And the deadline is next week, Friday, if I get it correct, if I got that correct. So you have the rest of this week and the whole of next week to either come to our office or call. We can email it to you. And again, you're calling 693-1080 for that information. You heard what he said. It's not challenging, and we also help you if you come to the office. So just come and take a chance and get some assistance with potentially getting some funding to restructure your farm in ways that the SBA and FEMA couldn't do. Okay, that's what it's for. And again, upcoming activities, pesticide training and certifications, and that is with our VI bug lady, Dr. Amy Dreves, Wednesday, October 10th, 6 to 8. And these are happening on the St. Croix campus, but she'll most likely be traveling to St. Thomas to present pesticide training sessions in November and December. So we got to just watch out for notice and stay tuned with us. She'll update us and we'll update you all. So Wednesday and Thursday over on the St. Croix campus, that's where the recertification and basic core class is taking place. Thursday and Friday over in the Research and Extension Center, 133. That's Cooperative Extension Service Office over on St. Croix. So much going on here. Always so much going on. With the Department of Agriculture, there's a fertilizer use and management workshop coming up. That's October 11th, 9 to 12, UVICES. World Food Day, October 14th, and the Ag Fair over here on St. Thomas, St. John. And this year, here's the announcement people were waiting on. The location is going to be the Border Farmers Market.
Oh, wow.
So we're collaborating with We Grow Food, Inc.
Nice.
for the first time to put on the St. Thomas, St. John Agriculture and Food Fair.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so reuniting with our farmers to support agriculture in the VI. We're still tweaking out the theme, but it's going to have something to do with that.
Okay.
And applications are going to be ready by the end of this week. So you want to, again, call our office, 693-1080, to find out about that, so you can come by or have it emailed to you.
And if we're writing articles for the booklet, are we having that as well?
That's a great question. I don't believe that the conversation has come up yet about a booklet,
Okay.
but I will inquire on that and then we'll find out.
Okay,
Yeah.
certainly.
Yeah. And we want to again thank you for coming in
Thank you for having me.
to share about the Interfaith Wellness Festivals that just took place the past couple days. And we know we had our little roles in it,
Yes.
but it's a big undertaking, and it turned out to be wonderful on both campuses.
Mhm.
We heard positive feedback both ways,
Yes.
and we look forward to the next one.
Thank you.
So, signing out for today, that's what we have. What's going on at UVICES, again, is our weekly radio program right here at WUVI Radio, 97.3 FM. This is the student radio station of the University of the Virgin Islands. Students man the controls. We just air some of the content, and I'm your extension specialist, DaraMonifah Cooper. And what we do is we bring people in, or people send me information, so that you could learn how we're continuing to work together in responding to the needs of the community in a number of ways, including agriculture, natural resources, family and consumer science, 4-H youth development, and communications, technology, and distance learning. So we're your trusted source for reliable information backed by experts, because we have to use best practices in what we do, and we research and then share the information channeled in a way that everyone can understand. That's what we do at UVI Cooperative Extension Service. So I'll see you all, and you all will hear me next week right here at WUVI, 3 p.m. on Wednesdays. So it's the third day in the week, 3 p.m. on Wednesdays. That should make it a little easier to remember, right? 3 W.
3,
Okay.
3, yes.
All right. Thanks again, and thanks in the background to Kala, who is on the board as usual. That's what's going on at UVICES. We'll talk to you next week. Done.
Place to be at 97